I don't understand how they can claim there are more than two genders, because as far as I can tell, gender is like a handshake. You know, it's a series of cues and signals. For example, like if I take a lady out to dinner, I'll pull the chair out so she can sit down. She knows what she's supposed to do because there's an understanding from just previous context of our lives. But and if I don't say pull the chair out and she's expecting me to do so, then I failed. She may well be like effectively holding out her hand to be shaken, and I'm not taking the hand and shaking it. And so for them to unilaterally say, right, okay, there are thousands of genders, and genders are all social construct, they're all performative in nature, they're all, everyone's basically a tabula rasa and they can just choose whichever they want. It's obviously not true, because I mean, if I don't, it's not like, say, it's a two-way street. It's if I don't know what I'm supposed to do with someone who identifies as a demi-girl or whatever, pick a random made-up gender that they've got. If I don't know what the process around that is, then we don't have a gender interaction. We don't have the handshake.
Okay, so while you put your finger on an essential weakness in the philosophy, it's like, first of all, the idea that gender identity is independent of biological sex is insane.
Yeah,
it's wrong. It's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
The scientific data they're not only clear, they're clear beyond dispute. It's as bad as claiming that the world is flat, in my estimation. Now, having said that, there are masculine women and there are feminine men. If you look at temperament, for example. Mm-hmm. So, on average, men are less agreeable and lower in neuroticism than women. And so they're lower in negative emotion and they're lower in compassion and empathy. They're more competitive. Now, the differences there aren't massive. So, for example, if you take a random man and a random woman from the population and you guessed that the woman was more agreeable than the man, you'd be right 60% of the time, but wrong 40%.
Yeah.
And if you took a random man and a random woman out of the population and you guessed that the woman was more agreeable than the man, you'd be wrong 40% of the time. So there's a lot of overlap. And so you can have men with quite feminine temperaments and women with quite masculine temperaments. But they still have all sorts of other differences that characterize them. Okay, now,
yeah,
so there is biological grounding, there is variability, and then there is a sociological element, which is what you were talking about. Mm-hmm. But what you put your finger on is and this is something that damn postmodernists agree among themselves, is that, okay, let's say that gender is performative. All right, so that makes it into a kind of agreed upon social game. But that's the thing, it's an agreed upon social game.
Yeah.
You don't adopt the role because it suits how you feel. You adopt the role so that you can use it as a tool to maneuver with in society. I mean, that's why the transsexual guys often come out as extraordinarily feminine. They wear dresses, they wear high heels, they put on makeup. None of that's biologically instantiated, or if it is, it's only to a limited degree. Mm-hmm. But they adopt those roles because people know how to play the game. Yeah. And so the thing about identity is that identity is a set of tools that you use to operate with in the world. And if those tools don't function, you don't have a functional identity. Well, yeah, it isn't just something that you put on because you feel that way. It has to be something that other people know how to respond to, or you will become completely alienated.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost a way of deliberately alienating other people, because, like you said, it's an agreed upon set of rules. And if you come in and say, right, I've got a new set of rules, and none of you have agreed to any of these rules, you don't even know what they are, but I'm going to demand that you operate by my standard anyway. I mean, it's hard not to see that as a method of controlling other people. It
is precisely that. It's narcissistic to the core. And, I have received a lot of letters from transsexual people. I think about 30 now. Mm-hmm. And these are people who've gone the distance. They've transitioned. So they're rare people. Yeah. And so 30 of them is a lot. And 29 of them are in favor of what I said. Now, there's a reason for that. And one of the reasons is first of all, they say, these damn trans activists do not speak for me. Because here's the idea. Well, I claim that I'm a member of a community. And then I claim that because I'm a member of that community, that I know what the community thinks, and that the community is homogenous, and that now I'm a valid spokesperson for the community. It's like, well, A, you're not a member of a community just because you say so. B, the community is no more homogenous than any other community. It's not even a community.
Yeah.
C, the mere fact that you're a member of that community doesn't make you a valid representative of the community. And D, no one granted you that power. So we have this reflexive idea right now that if you're a minority person of whatever minority sort, that you immediately get to speak for the minority. Well, all these transsexual people who've been writing me say, no, we don't buy any of that. And the next thing they say is, you have no idea how much more difficult my life has become since these trans activists have started beating the gendered pronoun drum. It's like, I'm visible, I'm a targeted, visible minority as it is. Especially the guys who are transitioning to women who are not attractive. And that's almost all of them, right? I mean, very few women are attractive women.
That's
the proportion
true,
of men who are attractive women is vanishingly small. And so, and especially if they're tall or they have broad shoulders or, you know, they have other
large
attributes.
hands and
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, or they're masculine looking. They make terrible looking women.
Yeah.
And what they're hoping is that maybe people will accept them for their contrary behavior if they don't cause too much trouble and they try to be invisible. And I do believe that's the best that people can hope for under circumstances like that. Yeah. And the gender activists who are doing everything they possibly can to make these people as visible as they can possibly be, and then they're claiming that they're acting in their own in their interest. It's like it's rubbish from top to bottom, and these people haven't asked for it to begin with.